Good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I got another Outlaw Troopers guide here for you. It's more of a strategy guide. Trying to do more of these because I know there's a lot of players out there that have been playing for quite some time. So they're looking for the next level. They're not necessarily looking for just the beginner level. And this is a question that I've gotten a lot from both the community, comments, all over the place. Today we're going to talk about gear and different gear combos that work well from a beginner all the way to an advanced. I'm really going to focus on three different gear types or three different gear sets. The first set that I used when I first started the game and I used for a couple seasons, the one I'm using now that I love, and then the advanced one, the one that takes some skill and that I'm striving for at some point, but I'm not very good at it yet. But once you master it, it is easily the best combination that I've seen so far. Understand that I'm only going to show you three different combinations in this video. There are a lot more combinations. You figure out what's best for your current situation and the style that you like to play. These are just guides. We're going to show you a very offensive one. We're going to show you a very defensive one. And then we're going to go ahead and show you a skill-based one. Again, the skill-based one is probably the best out of the three, but it takes some practice and it will take some time to master it. So let's go ahead and kick off with the first one. For those of you that are not familiar with it, you know you can go to your inventory and there's a whole series of different gears that are out there that you can go ahead and use, different combinations depending on your trooper and how many slots that you have available and how many that you've basically opened up. That's what you have available for you. In addition, as you go up in the higher rarities for the different gears, it is incredibly important to either upgrade to higher rarity troopers or upgrade this one here, which is the gear score limit, which allows you to put higher tier and really fill out your slots that you have available. So please keep those in mind as we're going through this. Let me go ahead and talk to you about the first gear set. And this is the first one I use. I actually use this for a couple seasons, and it's not necessarily the best, but it's probably one of the easier ones to do. And that's why I started off with it. So if we go ahead here and take a look at this, and let's see if I can go ahead and zoom in for you. Not let me do it. But this is the gear set. It's a more of an offensive style games or gear set. You start off with the three down here at the bottom. You have the constructor that builds turrets for you. You have the minions and you have the wingmen. So you always have that extra protection there to really attack and support you. And you're going to see these. These are the theme. These are the theme in a couple of my gear sets. I really like this combination as far as the power gears go. As far as the tactician gears, they're going to shift and you're going to see how they shift. As I mentioned, this is more of a offensive side because this gives you additional power, additional strikes, explosions that can impact several of the ships that you're going against. And that's what you're going to see here. So if you have medium to higher rarity wingmen, minions, and turrets, you're going to be able to provide a whole lot more damage during these encounters, which should really reduce the number of troops you're going against, not troops, the ships you're going against, and there's less of a chance that they can attack you. So this is a very beginner one. This is the one I used for several seasons. Obviously, the turret one or the constructor one is relatively new gear, but I've used this for quite some time. And I've just recently, probably about less than a week ago, made a shift to this next one. And this one I'm actually going to go ahead and show you an encounter with it. This next one is more of a defensive side. It really builds up your shield and your HP, which allows you to be a lot stronger and take a lot more damage and continue to produce wins after wins. This is the combination here, and this is not my image. This is Roger actually provided this image to me, so I do not have a Phantom yet. I'm still striving towards that, and you can see when I actually jump into the game, I don't have epics quite for these yet. I have a combination of rare and epics, but essentially you're going to see the same three here. You got the constructor, you got the minion, and you got the wingman. I told you these are my favorite. That's why I always have these as the power gears, but you're going to see it different in the tacticians. This one's nice because it actually reduces your wait time for your powers that you can go ahead and do. So it reduces that, so you can produce more wingmen and more towers, turrets, in a shorter amount of time. So that's why that's on there. And then these boost your shield and your armor, essentially. They make you stronger. And then because your minions and your wingmen get a percentage of what you have, it actually makes them stronger also and allows them to last longer. That's kind of why I shifted to this, because I was finding myself, I was running into issues where my wingmen and my minions were getting destroyed pretty quickly, and then they were focused on me, and I wasn't able to get past a certain point or a certain stage in the encounters. This has really opened it up for me considerably. As far as now, I'm able to last a whole lot longer. Same with my minions and same with my wingmen. It's a really good build. I'm not sure how far it's going to get me, but it's doing really well in combination with a new item that was added into the game, which I'll show you here in a second. So that's this set. This is the set that I actually enjoy the most right now. It doesn't take a lot of skill. So be aware of that. You just have to make sure that you stay on top of the different powers that you're doing. But it doesn't take a ton of skill, so you should be aware of that one. The next one, and this one is the one that I'm talking about that takes a lot of skill that goes along with it. Takes a lot of practice, and you don't want to get too close to the weapons that are involved. So let's go ahead and click on this one. This is the setup, and this is the advanced setup. This is where you have all the slots open, and you are able to go ahead and put epics in all of them, so you have enough of the score that's there. The one thing that's give or take as far as the wingman here, the wingman can get you in trouble, so be aware of that. So you can remove that if you'd like, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But let's start talking about the actual gears themselves. I'm gonna do the bottom one second, switch the order a little bit. So up here you have the top. You see actually three that are familiar here. You have these three that are right here. And then you have this one here, which hasn't been in any of the sets that I mentioned. Essentially what this gear does, it regenerates your armor over time. Common does 3%, and it goes up from there with the rarities. So essentially you're going to have the full armor protection there. You're going to have armor regeneration, and then you're going to also have the shortened timer with the cooldowns with each of your powers that you have. So again, it focuses very much on the defensive side and shortening your cooldown periods. On the bottom, this is where it gets a little bit different. You have these two here, and I mentioned the wingmen you can take out if you're getting in trouble with it. The minions are bonuses; they help you out quite a bit. But this is where it changes. This is where the skill comes in, especially this one right here. If you're not familiar with what this one does, it sends a burnout. Whatever target or ship you're targeting, it burns them, and that burn stays there. And if there's any other ships close by, that burning will spread to whatever ships are close by. So if you go ahead and burn and go cruise away, and you're always running away from them, as long as you can stay far enough away and your speed's fast enough, they'll continue to burn, and any other ships that get close to them that you're going against will burn also. And that's also where this one comes into place. This one actually gives you like a hyper jump. So if you're in a group and you burn one and you want to get away quick, that's where you use this. You burn, get out of there. Just be careful. If you burn and they're too close, you're going to start burning also. So that's where this whole theory or the whole skill goes involved. You're trying to stay away from them, but still being able to attack them. If you get slowed down or if you're not quick enough, you're going to get burned up, and it's going to be a tough time for you, which is where I run into the problem quite sometimes. So this is more skilled, but it's also longevity wise, as long as you can master that skill where you're running and burning, and you're using this one effectively where you're jumping away, it becomes very, very, very effective at the higher stages. So these are the three skills, or the three gear sets that I like to do. Like I said, there are a ton more. Basically build what's best for your situation, what you like to enjoy. If you don't like the burning, if you don't like the running, you don't like the constant overall movement, this probably isn't the build for you. You may want to take a look at a build like this. You have more defense, and it's less skill based. So it's all how much you want to go ahead and push in there and go in there. And you do not need epics for all this. You can, if you're in the early stages, you can use commons for all these, and they're just as effective. So that's the nice thing about Outlaw Troopers and the different skill sets. You can go ahead and use commons in the low levels, rares as you get up a little higher, epics as you get higher, and obviously legendaries as you get in the higher stages. It adapts with you, and as you're going through all these, you're earning more gears, which you can go and upgrade. So it all works out well. You can actually use this same build all the way from stage 1 to stage 50. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit of a tougher time as you go up to the higher stages. But you can go ahead and, as long as you're upgrading your gear levels or your gear rarities, you'll be able to compete with those different levels. Let me go ahead and show you one. I'm going to go ahead and show you this build. It's a pretty simple build, like I said. I'm going to skip ahead past the first round because you're only ever going against one. But you can see I'm on 23, and my biggest handicap right now is the FGL. That's why I'm not moving quicker than I should be moving. So we'll just go ahead and keep this. I'll keep it pretty standard. I'm going to click on that. And you can see what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump ahead because I need to reorder some of these. I upgraded some of these gears overnight, and I haven't had a chance to run them yet. So let me skip ahead and show you. All right, we have it set up now. Like I said, overnight I was able to upgrade some of these gears, so you can see I have a few more epics than what showed in there before. I also needed to upgrade my gear score so I could fit them all. You see I have 4 epics and then 2 rares, but it is that setup. You have the armor boost right here, which increases 200%, and plus you take less damage. This one, the ship, increases your maximum shield that you have available to you, and this reduces the cooldown speed by 10%, which you can go ahead and do more functions in a shorter amount of time, which is great. And then, as I mentioned, you have the constructor, which every 15 seconds, or with that cooldown it's a little shorter, you build a different construction. You have the minion that takes on a portion of 60% of your maximum armor and strength. So since this is boosted, and same with the wingman, it gives you a huge 250% boost to it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Like I said, I'm probably going to skip through. The other thing I wanted to mention, this missile launcher is awesome. We'll just throw that out there. So let's go ahead and jump in here. All right, as I mentioned, I skipped through that first one. That first one, you only have one person or one thing that you go against. As far as my setup goes, you see here that I have the normal healing. I have the missile, which I just used to easily clear that one. I have the constructor, the minion, and we'll go ahead and with the wingman. So let's go ahead and jump to the next one. Just so I can show you, I can literally sit here in this one spot and go ahead and click my turret, my minion, and then shoot some missiles out there. And it really takes care of a lot of different ones, especially these snipers, which are a giant pain in the tush. And I was really easily able to clear a majority of those guys just from that. And then I can just click, I can use the different items. It's a really simple build, and I didn't have to move at all. So like I said, it's less skill-based. It'll be less effective further down the road. But it works pretty well now. So I will eventually have to go through and change my build and really take on that other one, that skill-based one that I had mentioned earlier, just to really compete. Let's go ahead. The sniper's just slightly out of range, but I got the damage turret, which helps out and takes out those snipers from a distance. And I can just keep putting the minions out there so the ships target the minions. And there we go. That was easy to clear. And then we'll go to the next one. Follow the same process, and then just keep destroying and taking these guys down. As you can see, the missiles take out quite a bit of them from a distance, and then once they get close by, I have the armor and the shield to really compete against them. The turrets help me out. They help me out. The green ones are healing, the yellow ones are stun, and the blue ones are damage, long-range damage, and it really just helps me clear these as quickly as possible. Like I said, the only thing that's holding me back in the current stages right now is my FGL amount. I have enough keys. These are pretty simple to go against. As I get to closer, like if I did all of these boxes, it would be pretty challenging as I get to the final boss. But as you can see, we're talking right now, and it's clearing pretty quickly with this build because it's super strong as far as your armor and your shield go. So let me know down in the comments below, what combinations do you enjoy? What do you think about the combinations that I showed? Like I said, it's really depends on your play style. If you like to go ahead and really compete and do skill based, and you're always moving around and you enjoy that type of the game, I encourage you to take a look at the third build, the burning build that I showed you. If you like this, where you can go ahead and talk and have a conversation while you're making a video, or a little more of a relaxed approach, that may limit you in the future, but at least for right now it works well. Then you can go ahead and check out this build, or also, again, let me know what kind of builds that you have. As you can see, I cleared that stage relatively easy as I was talking to y'all. So again, comments down below. Let me know what builds you have. Are you interested in any of the 3 that I showed you? Did I miss one that you really enjoy that I should try out? I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.